Hey guys, before we go ahead and move forward with this video, I just want to take this time to shout out some of my YouTube membership members. They are going to be VL, Dr. Goober, Big Tatsu, Stumpy02, and Dr. James Anthony David. Thank you guys for your support over at my YouTube memberships. If you guys want to support me on YouTube memberships, it only costs 99 cents per month. You guys will have access to a badge right next to your name when you comment on my videos, and as well as my video premieres. You guys will have access to exclusive emotes only available on YouTube memberships. You guys will randomly be shouted out with other members on these newly uploaded videos. And last but certainly not least, you guys will automatically be entered into a monthly $15 gift card giveaway that I will be doing at the end of every month. All of this for 99 cents per month. Without further ado, let's go ahead and move forward with the video. What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel, back with another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. As you could tell by the title on the thumbnail and the title of this video, it's a little bit different compared to my usual The Art of So-and-So character. The title of this video is, Why is Thancred Bad? Because unfortunately, this character just continuously gets the short end of the stick in Opera Omnia. He is going to be getting a C90, a rework of the debut of his LD weapon, but even with that, he's unfortunately really underwhelming. So I'm going to be presenting to you guys, a summarized info as to why he's unfortunately not so great. But before you even listen to me, I highly encourage you guys to utilize your resources such as Dissidia Compendium, DB, Tonberry Troop, all that good stuff, including all of the rest of the fantastic content creators for this game, because it's good to have multiple opinions and also do your own self-research. Then that way you guys can formulate your own educated decision on whether or not you're going to be investing in said character. Now, if you already have plans for Thancred and you find him a favorite, you love the character regardless of how good or bad he is, then you've already made up your mind, and honestly, you shouldn't be listening to me. But this is for those who are on the fence and are unsure if the character is worth it or not, and I'm going to be telling you guys why he's unfortunately bad. Now, before we move forward with the video, I do want to give a big shout outs to VL. The footage you are seeing of Thancred right now comes directly from his video. I got his permission to use it on my video, and the reason why I want to show you guys his footage is because if I use my current JP account right now, you're going to be seeing the second rework that Thancred recently just got on JP, and I don't want to show you guys visuals that might confuse you or that might mislead you into thinking that Thancred is going to be getting what you're seeing in Global Opera Omnia soon. So the reason why you're seeing VL's footage is so that way you guys have an accurate visual depiction on what this character is going to be getting soon in Global Opera Omnia. So why is Thancred bad? Well, first of all, let's go ahead and take a look at what he's supposed to be doing. Thancred is primarily a damage dealer. His gimmick is that he poisons enemies and then he deals more damage to poisoned enemies. While that was cool early on in the earlier times of Opera Omnia, nowadays it's just kind of like, it doesn't really matter. There's nothing really special about that, but that's what he does. He's a damage dealer that focuses on dealing more damage to poison targets. He has an overhead effect, which gives him access to this special brave attack command that is insta-turn and gives him a free skill usage, but you got to build up stacks towards it, and it's kind of awkward, it's kind of clunky, but he has that. So what does he get with his rework? Well, unfortunately, his rework is not so hot, especially in this time era where we're at with all these damage dealers running around having burst weapons. His skill 1 and skill 2 have more damage and deal 2 HP attacks. Yay. 2 HP attacks is just not going to cut it if we're going to be objectively looking at this character being a primary damage dealer. There are characters that do way more HP dumps now, even older characters such as Machina or even freaking Theodore, who Theodore is considered to be a very underwhelming burst damage dealer, but even he's dealing more damage, with his skills alone, not counting his burst, because I know Thancred doesn't have a burst yet, but with his skills alone, he's dealing more damage than Thancred is, and Thancred is supposed to be a more current character as far as Opera Omnia Global, goes. So, skill 1 and skill 2, 2 HP dumps, just not that great. His EX gets an upgrade with C90. If you're using the plus variant of his EX, which generally that's the version that you want to be using, he's going to be dealing 4 HP dumps. That's not bad. I actually think that's pretty decent. 4 HP dumps is good. But remember, every time you use the plus version of this EX, he loses 3 stacks of his overhead effect. And to have access to the plus version, you have to have 3 or more stacks. And the overhead effect, I believe, if I recall correctly, can stack up to 5 stacks. So gotta build up the stacks in order to have access to that. Now, when you are at 3 or more stacks of his overhead effect, remember, you do get access to that Brave Attack plus Ninki. And this does have insta-turn rate. It gives some free skill uses for his S1, S2, and his C65. It does, however, only have 1 HP dump, and there is a purpose to the madness, and we're going to get into that when I talk about the LD, but 1 HP dump, but at least he gets free skill uses directly the turn after. Now, his LD, which is the new weapon that he gets, has a total of 6 HP dumps. That's actually pretty good. I think 6 HP dumps is good. We like that, especially for a unit that's supposed to be dealing more damage, and it gives him a brand new buff that also stacks. So now you have 2 variables to worry about with this character when it comes to managing stacks. You have his overhead, and then you have his LD. His LD pretty much just increases his overall offensive output, which is needed for a damage dealer. And then the stackable buff, it builds up in stacks every time Thancred takes an action, and it goes all the way up to 5 stacks. When it's at 5 stacks, he's going to get access to a special HP command called Trick Attack. Now, Trick Attack has, I believe, 3 or 4 HP dumps. Just look it up on the compendium. I'm not reading off of anything right now. This is completely unscripted, but I believe it's 3 or 4 HP dumps, which is not bad. But here's the problem. After you use it, it dispels all 5 stacks of the LD buff. So you have to start over again, which is for a damage dealer and for building up all the way to just that. And yes, he does apply a special debuff which is tied to it, which pretty much allows enemies to take more HP damage, so HP damage up. But we have other characters that can already do that. I mean, you could even just bring a Kurasame call and do that, and then there you go, you're done. But with this one, you have to build up to 5 stacks. You use this special command. It is insta-turn, just like his Brave Attack Ninki, so he does get a turn right after. But then you lose the stacks, and you have to press LD again. And guess what? When you fully upgrade his LD, with LD boards and all that, he has 3 total uses. So it's a very questionable design, in my opinion, when it comes to a character who's supposed to be dealing damage. And then let's touch up back up on his Brave Attack Ninki. So it's 1 HP dump, it's insta-turn. But if you have access to that, and you have access to, let's say, his EX, wouldn't you just rather press the EX? Like, I can see the reason why you would want to press Brave Attack Ninki over the EX, because you press that, and assuming you have the LD buff, you're building up the stacks, and then because it's insta-turn, you can go into a free C65, and then go right into his skills, and then you'll be building up the stacks. But ask yourself, is it really worth it to be doing all that work? I mean, cool, he's taking up all these turns, but what if you're playing a Lufenia Plus that has a lethal orb? I mean, provided you can handle the orb, but that's a lot of turns to be taken up for a character with very little reward, in my opinion, as a damage dealer. So, all in all, guys, the design of this character is unfortunately underwhelming, and it's sad because Thancred, I think, is a really, really cool character. He comes from Final Fantasy XIV, which is a very successful and largely popular MMO. I know he's one of the main characters there, and he has a lot of fans, so I'm pretty sure there's still going to be people that play Opera Omnia that are going to be pulling for this character solely for the purpose because you probably want something different. You want your boy to shine, which I get that. I respect that. You know, I freaking green Shantoto, I green Theodore, even though those are fairly underwhelming characters at the moment. But, you know, I stuck to my guns, I stuck to my roots, and if a character's a favorite, I invested. So to those of you that are going to do that for Thancred, kudos to you guys. I'm pretty sure there's going to be those of you that are going to be trying to run him through the remaining Lufenia Plus era, which, again, respect to that. But if we look at this from an objective standpoint, yeah, Thancred's kind of bad, guys. I'm sorry. Well, at least he's not as bad as Onion Knight, because Onion Knight is still probably the worst character in both Global and JP Opera Omnia. Now, Thancred does get a rework later down the line in the Shinryu era. It's actually not bad of a rework, but I felt like that rework should have been the one that we should have been getting now with the debut of his LD, because even that rework is a little too late to the party, because Thancred still doesn't yet have an FR weapon, and he should be getting a burst now, because every character in Opera Omnia can pretty much get a burst now. But so let's cross our fingers and hope that Thancred would potentially get a really good upgrade when his force weapon and his potential burst comes out eventually in Opera Omnia. But as for now, with Global, with the debut of his C90, his rework, and his LD, sorry guys, he ain't it. He's unfortunately very underwhelming. Yes, you could run him in current content because we are in that garbage time era. But if you look at it, again, objectively, which is very important if you're going to be, doing your research and judging these characters, Thancred's not that great, guys. I'm really, really sorry to tell you that. So why is Thancred bad? I've laid it out to you guys. But again, do your own research, make your own educated decision on if a character is worth it for you or not. That's the better way of going about it rather than just listening to one opinion. But here is a video for you guys just to give you guys an idea of why Thancred is just so underwhelming in this game. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and mahal, everyone.